Okay. So, hopefully this will be a quick one, just like, deep thoughts by me. No. So I've had this, mental image. My hair is always crazy. Cause I swear I can't, once I take a shower, I'm like, it's like it washes the dirt, but it also washes away like my thoughts. It kind of changes, so, but I've had this mental image of, somebody, well, not of somebody, but of somebody's words. And the words were, along the lines of like, don't let people step on you, like don't let people walk all over you. And personally, like I don't resonate with that. And so I was like thinking and verbally processing it. And I realized like that there is a common misconception that we have to climb to the top. So because we have this conception that's been normalized, that's like the only lens people see through. Supposedly they said like if you put fleas in a jar and then you like put a lid on it, they say that like the fleas will stop jumping. And so eventually you can take the lid off and all the fleas will just stay in the bottom and they won't even like try to jump. That's what they say. I can see, like the moral of the story being really, like powerful because that's what happens to people. It's like people are stifled and they just assume those are the bounds. Like those are going to be the bounds forever for them as an individual. And so I was processing this and I'm like in the moment I was a little spicy. I'm not as spicy right now, but I still know that we don't claim. I mean, okay, so let's just say there is like a high diving board. Okay, like one of those places where there's like a diving board, or you can keep going up, and then there's like a higher one, or you can keep going up, it's like a higher one. So it's like people look at the highest diving board as like the ultimate achievement, but instead of there being a ladder, like people think they have, because there's no ladder, you have to like climb up on top of people, like give me a boost, and so that's the world we live in, and it's, like when you look at life that way and you're only able to climb, instead of like being able to like fly, or maybe jump, I don't know. I think it's mostly about like flying is, like looking at it through that lens, like you're always going to see the world like you're a crab in a bucket. Okay, so like there's this thing that happens when you have a bucket of water and you're crabbing. And so as you go through and you're like digging in the sand and you're pulling out the crabs and you throw them in the bucket, like they want to get out. And so if you have like, 10 crabs in a bucket, they're going to start being able to climb on top of each other and get closer to the surface. And so as they start climbing and getting closer to the surface, another crab will be like, oh, hey, oh, like that's for me. And we'll pull that crab down and then climb on top of them. So it's just like a constant, one crab is pulling the other one down. And it's like they're constantly just like a cycle, and there's no way for them to get any higher than being on the, like the highest freaking crab. And so like, but they don't see it. They only see the top, the top diving board, and they're like, I mean, it's up there. Somebody's got to be able to get up there. Maybe there are some people up there, and they don't know how they got up there. And so the highest they've ever gotten is when they're tricking crabs into stacking for them, let's say. They're tricking crabs into, okay, I want you to, you stay right here, okay? Now, you over there, you come right here, you stay here, okay? And then I'm gonna climb on top of you. And like, I think with people, that happens. Like, people will be like, oh, hey, you're my friend. Hey, like, and kind of position them and then end up climbing over them, thinking like, this is how we do it. I don't know. Like, I don't see the world like that. And maybe it's because I've been the bottom freaking crab a lot, because I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you guys doing that? Like, that's not working. Nobody's getting out, you guys. I have not seen one single one get out. And so, like, that's what it feels like when you're being stepped on. You're being walked all over. And so, no, I feel like because I don't see the world that way, you know, I went off and I started doing my own thing and like kind of exploring the world and, you know, getting hurt and hurting others and just experiencing it. And I learned that I had to break away. I had to break away from the crabs that are grabbing. And, you know, I went to the fringes of society. And I learned while I was out there in the wilderness that we have wings, and that, like a butterfly, imagine being in a chrysalis and getting your head popped out and your little legs popped out, and you're just gonna walk around like that forever. And like, not realizing that you can peel off more layers and spread your wings and start to exercise them and eventually like lift off. And so what happens is, you know, now we've got a lot more people on the fringes, and which doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. And especially if like things aren't working, you know, don't be mad at anybody because they're like wandering off trying to find a better route. But, you know, like, as people are finding their wings and starting to fly, there's still going to be crabs around and trying to pull them down. And the part that is the most damaging, you guys, I am so sick of sticks and stones break my bones, but words will never hurt me. It's not true. Because what happens is the people who don't see the wings, they don't feel their wings, they only see the world through climbing. They see someone up higher, they are going to say that person's cheating, because that's the only way they've ever gotten that high. Or maybe they haven't. It's the only thing they can think of, is the only way somebody could get that high is to convince a lot of people to let them climb on them or something. And so that's unfortunate, because it's those people who decide that they're going to climb harder, and they're going to, you know, trick more people into letting them climb on top of them. And then the people on the bottom get just obliterated. There's no reason for it. None whatsoever. You have your own wings. You need to exercise them. Like, you got to stop. Everybody's wings are going to be different. Just like with, you know, like a zebra's stripes or a cat's stripes, you know, like, my wings are not going to look like somebody else's. And the grass is always greener. Like, we always get used to our own skin, and we look at other people and we're like, oh, you know, white girls look at people with darker skin and say, oh my gosh, it's pretty because you don't see veins through it. Like, You know, you don't see all these imperfections. And so it's like, I just don't understand all of it. But it doesn't mean I don't have, you know, like, doesn't mean I don't honor my ancestors, you know, like the ancestors that I've had who were doing good. I want to honor them, you know. It's not about what color we are. And I also want to honor the humans that have lived during the time that I've been alive that aren't my ancestors, and maybe they look different, you know, like we can honor everybody. It just takes a little more effort. It takes a few more words, because the feeling is there. It's like the feeling's there, but because you don't have the words to describe it, the behaviors don't match. It's like the feeling's there, but the behaviors just like can't get, just like for me, even like I struggle with organization, like physically organizing things. I'm really good at organizing, you know, like concepts of, you know, like philosophy and stuff, but not my sock drawer. No, I don't have a sock drawer. Okay. So like, that's part of my wings, you know, like my wings they look different. And there are going to be people who look at my wings and they're going to be like, how can you even fly like that? Like maybe they're shaped weird, or they have a hole in them here or there, you know? And people are like, there's no way you can lift off like that. I'm like, but I have, and I do. And it's not about what my wings look like, the shape, the color, you know, like it's just, I have them. And as long as I'm working them correctly, then I'm still going to lift off. And when you are a person who has found their wings and you're able to like, you know, like kind of hover, you see things from a totally different perspective. You're no longer at the bottom looking up, like just feeling doom. You're at the top and you're looking down and you're like, you just feel like sorrow and empathy and compassion. And while you want to help people get out of the bucket, you know, you can't just start lifting them up off the top. And it's really unfortunate. And I'm not really sure how to address that. I haven't got that far. But I know that we as an organism, you know, as a living, breathing organism, we'll get through it. We'll figure it out, you know. And maybe you have the other piece. I'm not going to have all the pieces. You're not going to have all the pieces. And, you know, the neighbor across the street isn't going to have all the pieces. Maybe they don't even know that there are pieces. So don't get mad at them if they don't know there are pieces. Or if they think you're stupid for having a piece because they don't know what it goes to. Like, there are all kinds of thinking processes and all kinds of different life situations that contribute to those thinking processes. And so that's why it's really hard for some people to change their mind. It's like they've only seen certain things, and it's really hard to convince them that it could be something else. Especially when those things have been very harmful, because it's totally human nature to want to avoid things that have been harmful. And if we've been abused and we're getting hurt for doing the right thing, like, that somehow fit into the previous sentence. I don't remember. I always tell myself, I'm like, I could probably keep going and just kind of like insert another, I don't know. But yeah, okay, 14 minutes, almost 15 minutes. I don't think that's too bad. Okay, so crabs in a bucket, spread your wings, baby fly, okay? You don't have to worry. Like, if you get up there in the air, don't keep thinking that you're going to dip down and grab somebody. Our wings just aren't there. There are probably some people out there whose wings are that strong. And if you're one of them, I do not mean to minimize your abilities. I just want to be realistic for people who haven't gotten there yet. You know, like, it's okay to, you know, be up above other people and not let them grab you and drag you down, you know? But it doesn't mean that they can't see you, or you're not, like, still spreading love or spreading a message of hope, you know? Like, there are going to be people who are going to say, I see you up there and I hear you telling me how to spread my wings and stuff, but it doesn't make sense and I don't feel it. I don't believe it. It's going to happen, you know? And maybe it's because they need a few more seeds planted. Maybe they need to experience a few more people who have done it. Does not take away your efforts and your, you know, like the energy that you've put in. Like, it just means that they need more, you know? And maybe your seeds are the ones that are sprouting. Maybe it's that someone else came along and watered those seeds. And so, don't give up. If you're someone who's found your wings, you have learned to fly, and you really don't know what to do about the people who are still down there trying to climb over each other, you know? We lead by example and compassion and using the words that explain things in the most simple of way. I'm definitely not there. I try. Okay, bye. 16 minutes, 17, dang it.